Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum and welcome to Be My Guest with Ahmed Goreja. I hope all you guys are doing good. Season 8 is going on and today we have a special guest. Yes, I'm talking about someone you know. You see him every day. Every time when the cameras are on, he's somewhere on the news or in any public community events. And especially you see him when we're talking about any kind of development. I'm talking about one of the mayor of the city. He's not just the mayor, he's a known politician and he knows how to settle the score. Yes, I'm talking about one of my very good friend, my favorite mayor of Brampton, Patrick Brown. Hello and welcome to Be My Guest.
Well, great to finally be on your show.
Yes, thank you very much. How are you feeling today?
Very good, yeah.
I know you have a busy schedule and we're gonna run by the numbers, we're gonna run by the important discussion that we have today. Mayor Brown, first of all, I really wanna say that I admire you, I see your work, you are doing a great job. And the way in 2024 Brampton has progressed, overall in development and health sector, it's marvelous. How do you see to keep the same sustainability in 2025?
Well, Brampton is a hotbed for activity right now. We passed Mississauga in size, so significant residential growth. Economy is booming. We only have a 1% office vacancy. 2.9% industrial vacancy. We can't keep up with the amount of jobs being created in terms of new businesses coming to town. So that growth comes with it pressures. Yeah. Pressures on transit, pressures on the hospital. And so we have to adapt. And that's what we're trying to do. We're building a new transit system, a new LRT extension. We're building a new hospital now. So we're running full steam to keep pace.
Of course. Let's talk about the LRT system which recently been announced. Is it going to be connected with an existing LRT? Is coming from Mississauga somewhere?
Yes, right now the LRT phase 1 goes from Port Credit to Steeles.
Okay.
I had campaigned in 2008 that I thought it was inadequate. That you don't connect Peel Region by stopping at Steeles. I campaigned that I was going to lobby the government to expand it all the way to downtown Brampton Go.
Great.
And so I pitched Prime Minister Trudeau, I pitched Premier Ford, Minister of Transport Prabmeet Sarkaria. We got everyone on board and now it's fully funded, which is a game changer for Brampton. This could be close to a $4 billion project and it's going to connect it to our GO Train network. And so now LRT, GO Train, public transit, all connected.
Very nice.
In terms of the construction period, it takes time to build LRTs. Phase 1, is probably a 7-year project. Phase 1 should be done in about a year or two, and then we start phase 2. But building LRTs is not something you can do in a matter of weeks or months. It takes years.
Of course.
But this is transit that changes cities. It enables growth. It enables modern public transit.
Yeah, I've seen regarding the housing prices, it's surged over the time in Brampton, even some areas of Mississauga as well. We have seen in Brampton North, people intend to live near to the lake and they want to buy high expensive houses, but we have seen people living in north of Brampton getting the same prices as Mississauga South. The prices keep raising high because of the shortage of the houses in Brampton. How do you see to combat that?
So I think any politician who tells you that they're going to bring housing prices down is being misleading. The reality is, if you look decade over decade, housing prices have gone up in Canada.
That's true.
And there are factors like interest rates that are set nationally and influenced internationally. There's inflationary trends that are really international. And so we can make it easier to build, we can make it easier to construct new housing, but there are factors that go well beyond an individual city. What I would say is that no city has built more housing in the last decade than Brampton. It was initially they say Brampton wasn't going to surpass Mississauga in size until 2040. We passed them last year, 2024. So in Mississauga, where there's 60% residential, 40% employment, or 80% residential, 20% employment. And so my focus right now is I want more employment. I want more offices. There's some cities begging for more residential, begging for more houses. Because we built so much housing in Brampton, our focus right now is on employment.
Mayor Brown, since the housing has been increasing, the people keep coming to Brampton. People love to live in Brampton, we have seen the health crisis here as well, because we just have one big functional hospital, right? I've heard many times you talking about in the press that there's been funds kept for making a new hospital, but we have not seen it happening. We have seen the development of an existing infrastructure of a hospital, but we have been hearing these rumors the new hospital is coming, but it's been
no longer rumors.
Yeah.
You know, I was very pleased to be there last month as we had the groundbreaking on the new hospital.
Yeah.
This is a project that is estimated to be in the range of $2 billion. It's up to 350 new beds.
Okay.
We're also going to have mental health services, memory care services, a full service emergency department. So the construction has already started.
Okay, that's good news.
I was there with Premier Ford as we had the groundbreaking, and it took a lot of effort. A lot of fundraising. I felt like I was fundraising every other day trying to raise money for our local share.
I remember in 2018 when you were being getting elected for the mayor, and there was one of the campaign, and I asked you this question there as well, that what's going to happen with the health, and you said there will be a second hospital coming, and now it's happening now.
I said we got to get Brampton back on track.
Of course,
and
I remember.
For me, it was the LRT and the hospital were the two biggest projects, and they're now well on their way. And so that hospital one was something that I was passionate about. And as you know, my first term of mayor, I actually declared a healthcare emergency, a crisis. And really that was just to draw attention. I had that big emergency declaration to let senior levels of government know that we weren't happy, we weren't satisfied. Sometimes you got to shake the bushes to get attention.
And you had to combat the COVID at that time, because you just recently elected in 2029, there was 2019, there was COVID.
But the good news is we got their attention, we got it funded, we got it in the budget, and now we're in construction.
Yeah, that's good. We talk about 413, you see, when it comes to election, the main manifesto with the Conservative Party is the 413, and we have been hearing this for a very long time, right? The project starts, it stops, and the things keep coming. How do you see, because 413 is going to be passing toward the Caledon as well, right? And I think some part of the Brampton too.
So
right?
413 goes through Brampton, and I think it's needed. I know in the past there have been some politicians that opposed it. I know Bonnie Crombie opposed it when she was mayor of Mississauga. My point was simple. We've got too much gridlock in the GTA. Gridlock is suffocating. And so for these politicians in other cities who are saying we don't want the 413, would they give up the QEW? No. And Brampton's a growing community. We deserve our own transportation corridor. And so we need to move cars and people. The wait times to get to work, and it's not just about quality of life. For business development, you need to be able to get product to marketplace.
But Mayor Brown, there's other narrative because of, you see the Caledon people say, because of the green belt, the conservation authorities, right? People don't want the highways to become
I think the voters have spoken. You know, the Progressive Conservatives campaigned on the 413 in 2022. In every seat where there was the 413 route, their numbers went up. It shows that there was overwhelming support. If you look at the poll in that corridor, 80% support for the 413.
So how do you see how soon it's going to commence? Because I see the work started and then stopped again.
I don't think it started or stopped. They went through the design process. They finalized the route, and now they're in the property acquisition stage.
Okay.
And so the government's been purchasing properties that are on the route, and there's a legal framework for that.
Okay.
So I think it's full steam ahead with the 413, and like I said, I have supported that transportation corridor. And you know, I think we got the right person in charge. Prabmeet Sakaria is the Minister of Transportation. Kinga Surma is the Minister of Infrastructure, and I know that they're determined to make this happen. And you know, I've got full confidence they will.
Okay. We talk about the law and order. We've seen specifically in the last few years, Brampton has suffered a lot of car theft, a lot of home invasions, a lot of criminal activities has been happened, and we have seen a lot of chaos people has been talking about. How do you see to encounter it? Because this is something, an ongoing thing. It's not stopping. Yeah,
we've seen an increase in auto thefts, in break and enters, in crime in a lot of Canada's big cities. With auto theft, it was really anywhere within the vicinity of the Port of Montreal, because that's where the stolen cars were being sent through rail lines to. We made progress on that. I lobbied the federal government to get scanners for the intermodal hubs, so CP and CN, they're under federal jurisdiction. So now we scan the containers. We've seen a massive drop, a 54% drop in auto theft since we brought the scanners in, thanks to Minister LeBlanc. I think there's more we can do. You know, I want to see some criminal code changes when it comes to bail.
Yeah.
Too often you just get a slap on the wrist.
And I think Mark Kearney promised President.
They did, and I've been lobbying for it for 5 years, and I know that the opposition of the government promised bail reform. Chief Nish and myself have been pushing this for 5 years. You know, we had the case of Darren Henderson Bellman, where she lost her life because someone was released on bail for the 5th time in a row. 5th time, and took her life.
I know.
You know, we've had people get arrested for auto theft at the courthouse, get released on bail, and steal another car from the parking lot of the courthouse. So this can't happen soon enough. I'm looking forward to it to being cleaned up. Locally, we're doing everything we can. You know, this year we had the largest hiring of police officers in Peel Region history, 300 new officers. When I got elected in 2018, I said, we're going to start getting boots on the ground. There wasn't enough officers. Before I was mayor, we essentially allowed residential growth for 15 years. We weren't hiring officers. We weren't hiring any officers for growth. Since I've been mayor, I've changed that. We've gone from 25 officers a year to 300.
300.
Yeah.
Mayor, tell me about this. I remember when Mayor Bonney actually wanted to have dissolve the Peel region, right? And you actually vote against it, right? I still think, in my opinion, because this becoming the own city stuff, you know, because it's give you more power on your control on your own infrastructure and or your own safety and police and stuff. Could be a good idea, you know, dissolving the Peel.
The numbers didn't show that. We did some studies with KPMG and Deloitte, and it showed that the cost would have skyrocketed for taxes in Mississauga, Brampton, and particularly Caledon. But Mississauga taxes would have gone way up. To have 3 chiefs of police, 3 paramedic forces, to have 3 water treatment facilities. Right now we share regional services where it costs a lot to run. So rather than 3 police headquarters, rather than 3 treatment facilities, we share that collectively. And we built a lot of this together in the 70s to
But I think most of it, Caledon is taking more benefit out of it because, you know.
Yes and no. They don't use Peel Police, and they don't have a significant use of our water treatment facility. They will in the future as they grow, but they use OPP in Caledon.
What do you think? I mean, because I've seen smaller towns when they're growing up, they're annexing the lands from the other towns. Have you ever thought of annexing some of the Caledon land or any part of other land?
Well, some people suggested that it would, rather than dissolving Peel Region, it would have made more sense to have a city of Peel.
Of course.
And you know, that's something that it would be up to the province. It wouldn't be up to us locally. But I think it's easier to pull people together than tear it apart.
Right.
We've been together since 1974 for a lot of these services. And when you've been together since 1974, you're deeply interconnected. So it would be difficult to tear apart.
That's right. That's right. We'll talk about cricket because a lot of cricket fans we have, and most of the people who are watching this channel, you know, they're our cricketing nation. So we have seen your work for cricket. A quick question: when did the first time you got to know about cricket? You know, because this is something I've seen in Canada. It was not a famous famous sports.
Well, what caught my attention is I saw these signs in tennis courts saying "No cricket allowed," and I saw signs in parking lots "No cricket allowed." I thought, no one wants to play cricket in a tennis court. No one wants to play cricket in a parking lot. There wasn't proper amenities. And so I promised we're going to build amenities. We're going to build proper fields. I said, if tennis courts and baseball diamonds can have lights, why can't cricket fields? And so we've changed the game in Brampton. Obviously, new fields, new lights, new grass cutting equipment. We're now building Canada's first cricket stadium. I just think there's a passion for the sport. There's a love for it. That wasn't being matched by government investment. Government would invest into baseball diamonds and other sporting amenities that weren't even being used. And yet you had 450 people on the wait list for cricket. And so it's been a lot of a real privilege to work with cricket enthusiasts to build proper infrastructure.
I think that's amazing because a lot of people, especially a lot of tournaments happening in the town because of you facilitated people with cricket as well, right? Last question before I let you go is, who do you admire the best politician, because you have been into politics, right? You have been an MP, you have run as a leader, and now as a mayor. Who you admire the most?
You know, I think you take the best of different people and you try to, you know, blend great attributes together. But I think Bill Davis was probably the finest public servant we've seen in Peel Region. I thought he radiated decency. And the energy of Hazel McCallion was extraordinary as well. And so I think we were blessed in Peel Region to have for so many years Hazel McCallion and Bill Davis as our leaders in Peel Region, in Mississauga and Brampton. They were extraordinary.
Mayor, before I let you go, one question will just strike my mind. Kind of a personal question. Since 2006 till 2015, you have been MP, right, from Barrie. And then you become a party leader from 2015 and 18, right? And there were some allegations which you denied, I remember, right? It was probably very difficult at this situation. How did you tackle that situation? And
well, you know, when you face a negative story, it gets front page. When you get your apology years later, it doesn't get front page.
That's
and
true.
so I think sometimes media caters to sensational, not truth. And in my case, you know, certainly I got my apology, but it was too little too late because the damage was done. But in life, you keep on going, you keep on fighting, you keep on advocating, and you do your best.
And I think it's best for the Brampton because you're here and we have changed the whole new dimension of Brampton. Anyhow, thank you very much, Mayor Brown. I just wanted to give you a very quick short message, 30 seconds, to this camera, to people who are watching you.
Well, keep on watching this great show. Be my guest, and I look forward to being on the show again soon.